Hey, so last time I posted this, it actually generated a lot of interest. And in some cases, it made some people outright mad. For those who don't know, my name is Vitali. I am one of the co-founders of Raise Ready Systems, where we've built out a way to raise capital off of social media from accredited investors looking to write $100,000 to $1 million checks. So what did I post and why did it get so much attention? So every single week, every single campaign that we run, our clients receive a message like this one, and it includes this easy to understand graphic as well as a suggested recommendation based on what the data is telling us. So first, you're going to find that we structure this from the top down instead of from the bottom up. And so what most marketers, they're going to be looking at how much does a lead cost? That's going to be the first metric that they're going to be looking at. From our perspective, we want to approach this from as close to the prize as possible, which is why we have this highlighted right here. We're looking at how much did our client raise so far compared to their goal. And by the way, when I posted this last week, this number has already increased. So this client is now over the $1 million mark. Congratulations. Happy to see that. And that's really what we do for our clients, is that we basically create $1 million months for their capital raised. This is the first thing that we're looking at, is how much did they raise? Overall, we're looking at their sales, then we're going to be looking at their marketing, and only then we're going to be looking at the lead gen. And so looking at the sales, it looks like they have almost a 12% conversion rate. So this is a common question that we get is, well, what is your conversion rate? Okay, well, first of all, you're the one converting, not us. We're there to make sure that you get qualified investor meetings on your calendar, and then it's for you to go and build the relationship and then close the client. Now, we don't just send the leads over to you and the meetings over to you and say, hey, good luck. We have a very strict process that we ask all of our clients to follow, which essentially gets them trained up on what actions to take when there is a meeting on the calendar, how to conduct that meeting, how to schedule a second call, what information to send between calls, and then how to get that commitment from that second call. And so if we see that we have done our job in generating the meetings and then generating the leads and they're not closing, that means it's probably some kind of a sales problem. So we help you to troubleshoot what that looks like. And so this helps us see the picture very, very quickly and lets us identify where we need to work on for the following week. So this client is raising money, which is awesome. They have a 12% conversion rate. Their average check size did go down a little bit. I think it was 160 last we looked at this data, but that's okay. Money is money. We'll take it. Their cost of capital, this is how we gauge the campaign performance overall. This is how much money they raise in relation to the advertising dollars that they invest in this campaign. And this is overall, an overall amount right here. So we've got our money there. We've got a number of investors they brought in total. And then let's look at the meetings that we are generating on a week by week basis that allow us to get to that money raised right there. So we've got 9 qualified meetings. And now that they have enough conversion data, they can look at the qualified meetings and pretty much extrapolate and say, okay, if I have 10 investor meetings in a week, I can safely assume that 1 out of 10 is going to convert, right? And so what that does for our team is that we're able to say, in order for us to meet a capital goal, we have to invest this much more into ad dollars, right? Now we're not just investing ad dollars and hoping something will happen. We have enough data to actually make these decisions and adjustments to the campaign. Something else that I think is interesting too is how the lead gen interacts with the meeting data. So we've got 23 leads. Okay, cool. As long as they're qualified, that's a decent amount. Here's a number right here that we look at, is how much does it cost for us to acquire a lead? And then just because we've generated that lead or that lead has scheduled a call, that doesn't necessarily mean that they show up. What I like to look at is how much does it cost for us to acquire a lead? How many of those leads schedule a call? How many of them show up? So then we can say, okay, it costs us roughly $200 for us to have a sit down with an investor. Let's say 10 meetings, that'll be $2,000. With a 10% conversion rate, it basically means that it costs us $2,000 to acquire an investor. And then looking at the average check size, we can kind of play into that as well. I don't believe that looking at just how much it costs to acquire an investor is a good enough metric, because there's a varying degree of how much an investor can bring in. So looking at the cost of capital, I believe, is a better number. But the reason why looking at the cost of investor is valuable is because once they're in your ecosystem, there's a very good chance they're going to reinvest again in the future. So looking at the dollars and then ending up with the leads. That's how we want to approach this whole thing. So if this is interesting to you, I wanted to just record a really quick video of how we report for our clients. There are two ways to work with our company. One is we essentially take over your marketing for you and market your investment offering. The other is essentially from a consulting perspective. We essentially provide you with the blueprint of what it takes to actually generate these campaigns and generate these meetings. And then you have access to our team on an ongoing basis with your marketing team so that they can ask us any questions about how to approach certain things. But we have very detailed training on getting these campaigns live. And either way, the outcome is the same, is basically getting qualified investors on your calendar and then trying to get you to those $1 million months. So if you've made it this far, and if you're watching this on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We're going to be posting a lot more of this kind of content. If there's anything else that you would like to see as it relates to digital investor acquisition through social media, let us know in the comments, and then we'll do our best to create more videos like this. Thanks for joining.